But I did read something, and as I mentioned, big events are starting to happen for the summer rollout. So
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, had to jump into Marvel's new thing, Blood Hunt #1. If you like vampires, you're gonna want to read this one. This is written by Jed McKay with art by Pepe Larraz, colors by Marte Gracia, letters by Corey Petit. The overall story is like this big cloud of darkness covers up the sun, and then vampires just begin to attack the Marvel universe. We don't know
Cool.
who's behind all this. We don't know, if we're gonna be able to stop them. Um, this issue is it's really fun. Like this is what I want out of a summer event, at least for the first one. But before I get into the little minutia of the issue, I want to talk a little bit about comic publication and scheduling because
Uh-oh.
boy oh boy, it's I'm gonna try to make it as succinct as possible. So for Free Comic Book Day, Marvel released a Blood Hunt special. If you're on Patreon, you can check out. I'm holding up the book right now, so go check out our Patreon. But they released a Blood Hunt special that is supposed to happen before the main event that released on Wednesday. So like
Mm-hmm.
that feels like it was kind of out of order. And then I also picked up this week Vengeance of the Moon Knight #5, which also leads right up into Blood Hunt. But I didn't know I had to read Moon Knight first.
Uh-oh.
It didn't ruin anything for me, but I
Sure.
really would have loved that experience of like, oh, I'm reading Moon Knight, and then the last few pages of that is the first few pages of the Blood Hunt event. Like that would have been really cool to kind of transition into that.
So
So
are you saying that they released Blood Hunt #1 and then they released this Moon Knight issue? Is that what
it
happened?
came out on the same day. I just didn't know.
Ah,
Like I wasn't aware. I guess maybe some people plan their comic reading better and have a
sure.
list. I didn't, because I was like, okay, I'll read Blood Hunt #1, and then at the end it'll give me a list of like things I got to read, and it
Mhm.
did. And then it said Vengeance of the Moon Knight. I was like, oh crap.
You mean that Marvel wasn't clear about reading order or what books you had to get for this massive crossover?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The second really interesting thing is that they released two versions of this book, a normal version and a red band version, which means the red band version is more mature and full of like more violence and stuff. So when I redeemed my digital form, they give you the regular version, even if you buy the red band. So that
Hmm.
version only exists physically. And I looked at both of them. I compared them. You definitely do get extra stuff in the other one, in the red band, and you get some, like they replace panels that are more violent and gruesome. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I think they're
Hmm.
gonna do that for the full series. So Marvel has found a way to make people buy the same comic twice.
Damn it.
Again, without even a variant cover, although it does come in a little poly bag. So
Mm.
um, but the event itself pretty exciting. Jed McKay's kind of been building this since he took over Moon Knight and Doctor Strange, and that was like a couple of years ago. So like vampires have been coming into the Marvel universe for a little while. I would say after Hickman, Jed McKay probably is like the leading writer at Marvel.
Mhm. Mhm.
He's doing so many things, and he's writing the Avengers book, and that kind of overall drives where the stories are going for a lot of this. So I mean, doing those three books, and then you have Pepe Larraz, who's one of my favorite artists that did a lot of X-Men stuff. I think to me he was one of the top artists just that worked on all the Krakoa stuff,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
he's working on this. So like really cool stuff. It gets really violent sometimes, just very gnarly images. So like if you want a really, it's not like the boys where it's just like guts everywhere, but it's still vampires, right? So
Sure.
um I'll definitely continue to read this, keep you guys updated. If you're in the Discord, I'll let you know which times to check out too, because I know not everybody has the time to go 20 books deep into an
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited. This is kind of like the summer blockbuster season for me. I know DC is doing its own thing later on, so
Mhm.
just really looking forward to both of those things.
Yeah, so the Blood Hunt book is about vampires. How involved is Blade in this
Oh,
series?
he is deep into it. Like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, central. He's not in the Avengers roster anymore, but he's definitely a central part of the story.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I only say that because I feel like when I was talking to someone at C2E2 last weekend, they were like, I don't know what Blade has been up to, and this whole new arc is going to be all about or this whole new event's going to be all about vampires. Like, how is he going to play them? So it's good to hear that Blade is front and central because one, I love Blade.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wesley Snipes, for making those movies. And two, like, I can't imagine they do a vampire story without involving Blade in some capacity. So it's good to hear. Good that they're checking the boxes.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm replaying the Marvel Midnight Suns video game right now.
Oh, nice.
Because I picked up all the DLC for it, so I'm doing that. And the DLC is all like vampire related.
Ooh,
I didn't know what to expect. I was like, they're introducing like Deadpool, Venom, Storm, and Morbius as playable characters.
Okay.
And the whole thing is like, actually, Hydra is creating these new vampires who are bad.